So welcome to another live stream, guys. So today we have Red Folder News at 8:30 a.m. So we have news again at 10 a.m. If you see on Nasdaq, we have equal lows here. So let me mark these equal lows. So we have equal lows here on Nasdaq. So you can see that we have this bullish fair value gap here. So we had a bullish fair value gap here, and we did not close below this still with the body. You want to see a closure below with the body. So guys, I have plotted this four quadrants on this daily candle wick and Nasdaq. If you see on ES, we had an immediate rebalance on the daily chart, whereas on Nasdaq we are having still this gap open. I think we have red folder news at 10 a.m. guys. You can see price did not close below this bullish fair value gap with the body. So that is why we are seeing this reaction. At the same time, price went inside this order block. The price went inside this order block and we are seeing this reaction. So there is a bullish order block reaction here. So let me change this to green, orange, maybe orange. So you can see this bullish order block coupled with this fair value gap. This was yesterday's first presentation fair value gap. So I'll just drag this out. So we have two confluences here. One is this bearish fair value gap was engulfed. So this became a balanced price range, and now we are seeing reaction from this. So this is yesterday's first presentation fair value gap. So 2nd October, first presentation fair value gap. So let me make this below. Okay. 2nd October in the sense today is Friday. So yesterday was Thursday, right? Okay, Thursday's first presentation fair value gap. So we had a huge expansion on weekly chart. So I'll just plot 20% and 30% retracement levels. On this one, guys. TJF. So this is a 20% retracement level and this is a 30% retracement level. So we are almost there to the 20% retracement level already. So we'll wait for the 9:30 opening. But remember, we have red folder news at 10 a.m. There are so many confluences for this reaction. You can see one is this bullish order block. Next is this Thursday first presentation fair value gap. And then this order block. And there is one more confluence. We have this new day opening gap. Yesterday's new day opening gap. So we had so many confluences here. So that is the reaction from here. So we'll see. So this is 20% retracement level and this is 30% retracement level on the weekly candle. Price wants to do an immediate rebalance on a daily chart. We might come up to this wick. It's almost here. But we do have sell side liquidity here. At the same time, we have a fair value gap here and a higher time frame. So this is 30% retracement level. But we have to see if in case price wants to come down. So this is 20% retracement level on a weekly chart. This is 30% retracement level. And we do have equal lows here in Nasdaq. So we will wait for the silver bullet. I don't know what is the meaning of this delayed. What is the meaning of delayed? So there is nothing much to trade now, guys. Price is just in consolidation. Waiting for the open session at 9:30 a.m. so that we'll have some volatility. So this is the end of the week, guys, the Friday. So don't have high expectations. So try to limit your size. So still 7 more minutes. So I'm plotting this fib divisions on this wick, discount wick, in case the price wants to come down. So it should not go below 50% of this wick. But in case, worst case, if it wants to go below this candle, then the next PD array would be this candle 50% and then this volume balance to here. We will see what kind of reaction we'll see at this discount wick. But if you closely see, there are no any kind of imbalances in this entire price range till here, except this fair value gap. This entire range is overlapping. 5 more minutes, guys. Price is just consolidating. So you can see the reaction from the midpoint of this fair value gap, reclaimed bullish fair value gap. You can see the reaction from this midpoint. So we have we have just 90 more seconds for the opening. So this is the hourly bullish fair value gap and Nasdaq. So ES went into a small bearish fair value gap, and this entire thing is balanced, guys. Both buy side and sell side has been offered in this entire region. So I don't think we are going to go above this. So this is 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart on ES. We have this inversion fair value gap. So let us see whether price respects this inversion fair value gap or not. See this reaction, guys, from the midpoint of this daily premium wick midpoint. So ES is again trying to close above this bullish fair value gap. Again, see the reaction from the midpoint of this 1 hour 15-minute balanced price range, guys. Reclaimed fair value gap. So I'm waiting for the first presentation fair value gap to form. So far we don't have a first presentation yet. So if this candle closes, then we'll have this first presentation fair value gap. So what happened is price went up and took out the swing high. So far we are having prices respecting this quadrant level, upper quadrant level. So we created a very small fair value gap. In terms of ICT, this is very insignificant, so I will not be considering this as a first presentation fair value gap. So I'll be waiting for significant fair value gap to form. If price closes below the swing low, then we'll have a breaker. This down close candle will become a breaker. So still now we don't have our first presentation fair value gap yet. So this is again daily premium wick midpoint, guys. Daily premium wick midpoint, this red line. See, is looking strong here. Five-minute wick quadrant levels. So if you want to remain bearish, we want to see price remain below 50% of this wick. If again price closes above 50% of this wick, then we should be looking for longs. But so far price is just consolidating. We still don't have our first presentation fair value gap yet. Guys, I just wanted to add 4 lots, but instead of that it was 5 here. So it went and took. So I put my stop loss above 50% of this wick. So now price filled this volume balance on a 5-minute chart. ES is here looking very strong as ES is pushing high. This is the last line in the sand, guys. This 50% of this wick. If price closes above this 50% of wick, then shorts are in water. Whereas ES is pumping like anything. I too need to reverse my trade in that case. ES is looking very strong, guys. ES, you can see like already ES has already closed above yesterday's wick with the body. So ES is very strong. As Nasdaq is still struggling. ES is still pushing higher, guys. Oh my god. ES is pumping like anything. We want to see this 5-minute candle close above this, at least 50% of this wick initially. So this is our 1-minute fair value gap. This is decent when compared to this very small first presentation. So this can be treated as our first presentation fair value gap. So let me mark out this first presentation fair value gap here. So we had a good closure on a 5-minute chart. We closed above 50% of this wick. ES is pumping high, guys. ES is pumping like mad crazy. See, ES is almost about to take out this today's high. So this should be followed by Nasdaq also. Nasdaq is still struggling to go higher, guys. Putting my stop loss above first presentation fair value gap. I did not expect this crazy volatility because we had news at 10 a.m. but I don't know what happened. So we had a divergence here. ES took out previous 90-minute session high, whereas Nasdaq failed to take out that session high. So now we want to see this 15-minute candle close below this bullish fair value gap so that it will act as inversion fair value gap. So we want to see candle close below this fair value gap, guys. ES is still looking strong when compared to Nasdaq. So this is the breaker, guys. This is down close candle. This is the manipulation and this is the expansion. So we want to see price reject from this breaker. ES is looking super strong, guys. So ES is looking strong. So this first presentation fair value gap will be the last line in the sand. If price closes above this first presentation fair value gap with the body, then I don't think price is going to come down. Just in case, I just want to put my stop loss. So I just reversed my trade, guys. You can see price closed above this first presentation at the same time. We want to see price close above this week midpoint also. On a 1 minute chart, we already did that. But the main thing is we closed above this first presentation fair value gap. So now this should act as a reclaimed bullish fair value gap. So I think even on Friday we are going to see all-time highs. I was expecting that price is going to close below this first presentation fair value gap. It did not happen. So we want to see price close above this 50% of this wick. So this is the 5-minute chart and these are the 4 quadrant levels. So we want to see price close above 50% of this wick. Guys, it is so much frustrating. Price is just consolidating. Strong. ES is looking strong, guys. So I think we should see Nasdaq also start moving up. The ES is pumping up, guys. So we should also see some momentum in Nasdaq picking up. Percent of this. So my stop loss is below 50% of this wick. The ES is pumping up. So again, there is no follow through, guys. Again, failed to close above this candle with the wick, the body. Failing to close above this candle with the body. So this is showing weakness on Nasdaq. I think that's it, guys. We are going down now because price has failed to close above this candle with above the swing high with the body. You can see the bodies only wick went up and did the damage, and the bodies remained below this. You can see this candle. This is the very short of block. So this was only the damage. This was only the stop hunting part. So now Nasdaq should start moving down. So I'll remove these quadrant levels. Unnecessarily, it will cause a confusion. So on a daily chart also, we can see this premium wick price failed to close above this midpoint of this premium wick. So again, we closed below today's first presentation fair value gap. So again, we closed below this quadrant level, lower quadrant level on daily chart. Now we want to stay down below this quadrant level. That's it. That's it, guys. So we have 3 more minutes for the 10 a.m. news, guys. So I'll remove those daily quadrant levels. Unnecessary confusion already. So this is the 15-minute bullish fair value gap mapped out here. If price closes below this 15-minute bullish fair value gap, then we'll have an inversion fair value gap. So we have 2 more minutes. So my first take profit I said, guys, almost I closed 18 lots. So whatever loss was made, the entire loss is recovered. So that's it, guys. My trade is completed. Like I said, this is the 20% of the weekly candle retracement level, and this is a 30%. So my target, I wanted to target 20%, but I'm content below the swing low. So what So we can clearly see this entire thing consolidation was clear manipulation. So we should have waited for this 10 a.m. macro. So when price was consolidating and waited for 10 a.m. macro. So that was the reason I took some stupid trades inside this chop. So when finally I realized that this is the manipulation when price failed to close above the swing high and we had a rejection. Again, price closed below this first presentation fair value gap. This is where I went short and my target was this swing low. So now weekly 20% level is reached. So you can see on daily chart. Let me plot this weekly candle. So this is the weekly candle and just so on this weekly candle, just let me remove all these things. So for this entire weekly candle, this is the 20% of retracement level and this is the 30% retracement level. So this is called TGF trade. That is, thank God it's Friday. ICT has coined it. So any candle, if you observe, it will open here and it will do some manipulation. Then it will go to this highest point and then again it will close below the highest point. So this manipulation and this manipulation. So that is where we anticipate like price on Friday generally when we are really bullish. We anticipate price to come back to minimum 20% of the range. It can come up to even 30% also. So these are the levels I plotted. This is 20% and this is 30%. Just let me write it down. 20% of weekly range. So this is 20% of weekly range and 30% of the weekly range. So already our first target 20% of the weekly range is achieved. Look, took a lot of stupid trades there. Again, price respected this first presentation fair value gap with the body. Then I went long here. But this price went up and did the manipulation and immediately slammed brakes to the longs. So again, I reversed my trade and I went short. So I took my first partial and closed my second partial here. Here also, this trade, the mistake was I should have waited for this bullish fair value gap, engulfing of this bullish fair value gap, but I was early in taking a shot here. So that is the reason again I need to close this trade. Again, when I saw this candle, I should have waited for the closure of this candle on a 1 minute chart. You can clearly see this fair value gap was respected. This bullish fair value gap, you can see clearly it was respected. So bodies never closed below this bullish fair value gap. So again, this was my second losing trade. This was the third losing trade. So took some stupid trades here. So finally, I realized that this entire thing was manipulation and we are going to hit our 20% weekly range. So I went short. So I took my profits below this swing low. So you can see Nasdaq is very weak, whereas ES is still bullish. So Nasdaq can come up to this wick, guys, which matches with our 30% weekly range. So let me highlight this in another color. Yeah, 20% of the weekly range. And so I think Friday trading is done, guys. We are done with the Friday trading because we already achieved our 20% retracement level on the weekly chart. So I think price can just consolidate now, or it might come up to 30% level. So for the price to come up to 30% level, we want to see ES on the ES chart. We want to see this price close below this fair value gap. So if price closes below this bullish fair value gap, then ES will start breaking down, which should again pull Nasdaq lower to this 30% weekly range, which will coincide with this wick. So then we'll have an immediate rebalance on Nasdaq on daily chart. We can see Nasdaq is already very heavy. So we want to see ES also close below this bullish fair value gap with the body. This candle should close below this fair value gap with the body. Then ES will also start breaking down. So in case Nasdaq is still breaking down, the next target would be this 30% weekly range level. We have a bearish fair value gap here on Nasdaq. So let me mark this. Bearish fair value gap on Nasdaq. We can see ES has respected this bullish fair value gap. So bodies did not close below this 50% level. So ES has started pumping up. So this is a bearish fair value gap. So we can see price is breaking away from this bearish fair value gap. So price can come up into this bearish fair value gap, 1 minute bearish fair value gap. For that to happen, price should remain above 50% of this wick. So I'm going to take a small scalp here, guys, small scalp. My TP will be just above this candles into this bearish fair value gap, and my stop loss will be below this candle, 50% below this candle. So this is just a small scalp. So you can see price came into this volume balance here, small volume balance on a 15-second chart. So the reason I went long is we can see price respecting on the ES chart 50% of this bullish fair value gap level. So I already took my major trade. This is just a scalp, guys. So we have a small volume balance on a 15-second chart. You can see the reaction of the price from there. So that's it, guys. My second trade is also in profit. Small. It was a small scalp. So you can see price went into this small bearish fair value gap, and we are seeing a rejection here, small rejection. Again, you can see this imbalance on a 15-second chart. So if we want to see price remain bullish, we want to close above this entire bearish fair value gap with the body. We had this immediate rebalance on a 15-minute chart. You can see this wick is touching this wick, that is immediate rebalance. So if price again closes below this bearish fair value gap, again I will go short. If price closes above this bearish fair value gap, I will go long. So if price closes with the body below this bearish fair value gap, then we can go short. But you can see ES is very strong, like ES is very strong. So I'm watching ES, how it is going to react inside this bearish fair value gap. So we want to see this candle close below this bearish fair value gap. Barely closed. Okay. We can see ES is still bullish, guys. So if again price comes back up, again closes above this midpoint, then again I will go long. But I'm watching ES closely. ES, how ES is going to react inside this bearish fair value gap. Just let me mark this ES chart for you. 5-minute bearish fair value gap. What I'm looking for. This is We can see ES is still struggling to close above this bearish fair value gap. Plotted this quadrant levels on a 15-minute chart. If price closes below 50% of this wick, then we can go short again. But if price closes above 50% of this wick, then we should be looking for longs. I was a little bit early in taking this trade. I should have waited for this candle to close properly below this 50% level. Again, we closed above this bearish fair value gap. So that is the reason again I went long. Putting my stop loss below 50% of this wick. So we have a huge fair value gap here. So price can come up to there. So that's it guys. This trade also hit take profit. So the previous trade I made $1,100 loss, and this trade I completely recovered 3 times of it. So that's it for today guys. Thank you for tuning in to the live stream. Bye.